Hello team, this is camelCase where we're given a string and we need to camelCase it. Camelcasing being we basically split it or get rid of the spaces, the dashes, and the underscores, and any letter that comes after it, the specific letter that comes after these characters should be uppercase. And what I mean by that is the first word shouldn't really have anything in it, so that should be lowercase. The second word should be lowercase except for that first letter, which is a W, and it is. And again, we've gotten rid of the space in this one. We'll do that with these dashes and underscores as well, right? To create this, right? This very long string here, right? camelCase. So with that, we are going to jump over here and start by splitting our string, okay? The reason for this is because I want to get rid of all those spaces, all those dashes, all those underscores, and I want to make sure that I get rid of all of them, not just the ones in the middle, but possible ones that might be at the start or the end as well, right? That's something that they aren't testing for today, but we want to be able to cover that edge case. So here it is, s.split. We're going to do a regular expression in here. It is going to be a range, which is any sort of white space. I don't know why you'd use a tab in a name, but if you do, this captures it, right? So that takes care of that, as well as any other sort of white space that might be captured by this, as well as the dash and the underscore, okay? And we want one or more of them. So outside of the square brackets, we want this plus sign. Excellent. Do we need a global on here? Nah, no, not really. Because of the way that it's going to capture, it's going to iterate through and do that work for us, okay? So behind the scenes, it kind of acts as a global. We don't need to worry about that. Now, what about if our string started with a dash or ended with a dash, right? Or started or ended with an underscore or space for whatever silly reason. We could trim it, but we can only trim on white space. So we need something else in here. This will do the trick, but what will end up happening is we will get empty strings, right? So at the start, if there was a dash, then we'd have an empty string followed by our first word, which means that our first word wouldn't really be captured as our first word when we do the work later on. In order to take care of that, we should get rid of all empty strings. Empty strings are falsy, so we can totally filter on that. Filter and go Boolean. Brilliant. Boolean will get rid of anything that is falsy. So the false value, right? A zero, an actual number zero. In this case, the zeros won't be affected. So if we had file names or strings that had zeros in them, not a problem. And the reason for that is because string.split returns strings. And any string that has one or more characters is truthy. It doesn't matter that the characters inside of that string are zero, only that it has a length to it. Okay, so even numbers are safe here. We can keep going on. Brilliant. Down here, we are going to reduce. Okay, you could do this as a map. I prefer a reduce because it saves me from having to join later on. So again, doing less work, okay? Accumulator, current, and index. Brilliant. Index is how we get our first word, right? Our initial value is an empty string. So we are going to add on to the string as we go along, right? That's the whole goal, which means that the first thing that we need to do is get our word. Our word is going to be the current.to lower case, just like this. Excellent. And then return, what are we returning? Well, we're going to check if index equals 0, right? If index equals 0, then we are at the start of our array. I also realize that this is still set to string. It should be words, right? So words, just like this. The words array being passed in. If we're at the start of that array of words, then we just return word. It's lowercase, we can do it, not a problem, okay? And in fact, it should be accumulator plus word because we always return the accumulator as well. Otherwise, what are we adding to, right? It is throwing an error here because I haven't completed this. We need the next part, which is accumulator plus word.slice, and it's going to be 0 to 1 plus word.slice 1 to the end. Okay. At which point it didn't work. What did I miss? Slice. Because I didn't uppercase this. To uppercase. Done. Okay. So racing along, missing things, but this is what we're doing. We need to uppercase that first letter. That's what the slice does. You could also convert this to @0 if that makes more sense. It still works. Okay. But this all gets it done. So we split on those special characters. We get rid of them. We clear out any empty strings because there might be some. In all of the tests today, there aren't. So if you delete this, it still works. But in real life, there might be. So hedge your bets and add the filter. Okay. From there, we create a brand new string based on those words. And what we do is we lowercase everything. If we're at the start of our array, then we just return the word. Otherwise, we return the word with the first letter uppercased. And that does it, right? That's the whole thing. So this is how I would do it. There are other ways. I tried one with a regular expression. It gets messy when you start worrying about the start and ending dashes that I was talking about, the thing that gets cleared out here, right? We need to take care of some of that stuff. This doesn't have that problem. Okay. So with that, yeah, this is it, right? This is the whole thing. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you go a different way? Let me know all that stuff in the comments. Otherwise, for today, this has been camelCase, and I will see you in the next one.